How to Stop Being Insecure. 9 Stoic Keys, Stoicism, Wisdom for Life. In modern life, insecurity has become one of the most common and paralyzing challenges we face. We're constantly bombarded with images, expectations, and standards that seem just out of reach, pushing us to question our worth, our abilities, and ultimately our sense of self. But what if there was a way to rise above this? Stoicism, a timeless philosophy, offers a refuge, a guiding light that helps us navigate these turbulent waters with strength and clarity. In this video from Stoic in Your Life, we'll explore 9 Stoic keys to overcoming insecurity. These aren't just abstract concepts, they are practical tools you can apply to your everyday life to build confidence and live with greater peace and purpose. If you're tired of letting insecurity hold you back, stay tuned, because this is wisdom you can't afford to miss. 1. Stoic Key. Embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth. This principle may seem counterintuitive at first because in modern life, adversity is typically viewed as something negative, a barrier we strive to avoid. But to the Stoics, challenges were not setbacks. They were stepping stones. Every obstacle, every difficulty was seen as an opportunity to cultivate strength, resilience, and character. This mindset is captured perfectly by Marcus Aurelius, a central figure in Stoic philosophy who wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, what you perceive as a hindrance is in fact the path to personal growth. For Stoicism, adversity is not a block in your way, but the very path you must walk to become a better, more capable version of yourself. Now, how does this Stoic key relate to insecurity? Insecurity often emerges when we face situations that we find daunting or beyond our current skills. We worry we won't measure up, that we'll fail, or that we won't meet others' expectations. Yet this kind of fear can be dissolved if we shift our perspective. Instead of seeing these situations as threats, we need to reframe them as opportunities to learn and improve. When you adopt this view, insecurity loses its grip because every difficult moment transforms from a test of your worth into a chance to grow. Consider a scenario at work. Perhaps you've been assigned a project that feels beyond your capabilities, or a task that you've never tackled before. It's natural to feel insecure. But rather than letting this feeling paralyze you, ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can this challenge help me grow? This shift in focus not only alleviates fear, but also empowers you to acquire new skills and develop greater self-confidence. Marcus Aurelius' Stoicism teaches us that the obstacles we face are not there to defeat us, but to prepare us. This idea connects deeply with a practice known as premeditatio malorum, or the preparation for adversity. The Stoics would mentally prepare for challenges by imagining potential difficulties, not to dwell on negativity, but to reduce their impact and surprise when they inevitably occurred. This proactive approach helps diminish uncertainty, a key driver of insecurity. Imagine you're about to give an important presentation. Instead of fearing all the things that could go wrong, consider them in advance, prepare for them, and when the time comes, you'll find yourself less rattled by any unexpected turns. By reducing uncertainty, you also reduce insecurity, and what was once a source of anxiety becomes a manageable situation. It is crucial to understand that embracing adversity does not mean actively seeking it out. Rather, it's about accepting challenges when they come and recognizing them as a natural part of the growth process. When you find yourself facing an obstacle, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" reframe it and ask, "What can I learn from this?" This change in mindset is pivotal for building resilience, a fundamental trait that helps you overcome insecurity. Consider the modern world we live in, where perfection is often portrayed on social media and unrealistic standards are set everywhere we look. This constant comparison can make insecurity thrive. But the Stoic approach encourages us to turn inward, to see challenges not as confirmations of our inadequacy, but as opportunities for self-improvement. Epictetus, another notable Stoic, said, Difficulties show a person's true character. What he meant was that adversity reveals who we truly are, and, more importantly, who we can become. This is the essence of Stoicism. It invites us to welcome difficulties not with dread, but with curiosity, asking ourselves how these experiences can shape us into wiser, stronger individuals. These changes can be daunting, but they also present opportunities to grow, adapt, and evolve. By embracing these transitions with the Stoic mindset, you can transform fear and doubt into courage and resilience. To build this kind of resilience, it's important to practice this shift in perspective regularly. Each time you encounter a problem, see it as training. Just like an athlete builds muscle by lifting weights, you build mental strength by confronting difficulties, and this doesn't have to be limited to big life events. It can start small. The next time you're stuck in traffic or facing an annoying task, remind yourself that this is a chance to practice patience, to control your reaction, and to strengthen your resolve. When Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism's most well-known philosopher king, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He was highlighting that the real battle is within. It's about mastering your response, and in doing so, turning every adversity into a lesson. The beauty of Stoicism is that it offers timeless wisdom that applies just as much to modern life as it did 2,000 years ago. We live in a world that constantly tells us to avoid discomfort and to seek ease. But it is through discomfort, through struggle, that we truly grow. Whether you're dealing with a challenging job, navigating a tough relationship, or grappling with health issues, remember that each of these difficulties is a chance to learn more about yourself and to strengthen your resolve. Don't shy away from adversity. Welcome it as a teacher. Seneca, another revered Stoic philosopher, reminds us, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Every time you face a challenge, you are given a chance to reinforce your character, to stretch your limits, and to redefine what you're capable of. And in the end, it's not about achieving some mythical state of perfection. It's about continuous progress, becoming a little bit better every day. By adopting this mindset, you will find that your insecurities gradually lose their hold, replaced by a growing sense of inner strength and peace. 2. Embrace simplicity. In today's fast-paced world where we're constantly pushed to want more, achieve more, and be more, the idea of simplicity can seem outdated. But the Stoics understood something profound. Complexity and excess often lead to internal chaos and insecurity. By simplifying our lives, both in what we own and how we live, we can find a sense of clarity and inner peace that naturally reduces insecurity. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, emphasized this in his letters. It is the wise person who does not worry about abundance, but lives in accordance with nature and focuses on what is essential. This principle encourages us to zero in on what truly matters, rather than endlessly chasing after external things that do not bring real value to our lives. How can simplicity help us overcome insecurity? First, it's essential to understand that the accumulation of material possessions and the pursuit of superficial goals often become burdens, both emotionally and physically. When our lives are cluttered, filled with unnecessary commitments, toxic relationships, and material possessions, we feel overwhelmed and stressed. This stress feeds into our insecurity because it distracts us from what really matters and makes us feel like we're never quite enough. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself feeling anxious or inadequate after seeing someone else's success on social media? Maybe they have a bigger house, a fancier car, or seem to be living a more exciting life. This constant comparison can fuel a sense of inadequacy. But when you choose to simplify your life, you free yourself from this trap. By focusing on what is essential, what truly brings you peace and joy, you start to realize that you don't need as much as you thought. This realization reduces anxiety and insecurity, because you're no longer chasing after external standards that ultimately don't bring fulfillment. A story from modern life illustrates this well. Consider the case of John, a man who spent decades climbing the corporate ladder, always pushing for the next promotion, the bigger paycheck, the nicer car. But despite all his success, he often felt anxious and insecure, worried he would lose what he had or fail to keep up with the success of others. One day, after a health scare, he decided to step back and simplify his life. He moved to a smaller home, cut down on work hours, and focused on spending more time with family and doing things he genuinely enjoyed. He found that his stress and insecurity started to fade. By letting go of the need to keep accumulating, John learned that true security comes not from having more, but from appreciating what you already have. This shift brought him peace and a deeper sense of fulfillment than he had ever experienced during his years of chasing success. Moreover, simplicity also involves simplifying our goals and expectations. Often we feel insecure because we set overly ambitious targets or try to please too many people at once. When we streamline our goals, we can focus on what genuinely matters to us and act more effectively. This doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. Rather, it means being more selective and intentional about what you pursue. For example, if you're juggling multiple projects, responsibilities, and expectations, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But by prioritizing and focusing on fewer, more meaningful goals, you give yourself the space to excel in what truly matters, which builds confidence and reduces insecurity. Another crucial aspect of simplicity is mental simplicity. Sometimes insecurity arises because we overcomplicate things in our minds, overanalyzing, worrying about every detail, or trying to think about too many things at once. Practicing mental simplicity, focusing on one thing at a time, and not getting swept away by a storm of thoughts, can help calm the mind and reduce anxiety. Have you ever noticed how much lighter you feel after decluttering your workspace or your home? The same applies to your mind. When you clear out the unnecessary worries and focus on what truly needs your attention, you create a mental space that fosters peace and confidence. Another way simplicity can reduce insecurity is through the practice of gratitude. When you live a simpler life, you naturally start to appreciate what you have more deeply. You begin to see that happiness doesn't come from accumulating more things, but from enjoying what is already present in your life. This sense of gratitude builds an inner security because you realize that you already have enough, and you are enough. The endless cycle of wanting and needing more is one of the greatest sources of modern anxiety. Yet when you step off that treadmill and take a moment to appreciate the small, meaningful things around you, you cultivate a sense of contentment that shields you from insecurity. Finally, embracing simplicity also means accepting that not everything needs to be perfect. The pursuit of perfection is a significant source of insecurity because it sets impossible standards that we can never fully meet. The Stoics teach us to accept imperfections, both in ourselves and in the world around us. By simplifying our expectations and becoming more realistic, we can reduce the pressure we feel, and along with it, the insecurity that plagues us. Marcus Aurelius, a leading figure in Stoic philosophy, reminds us, "If you seek tranquility, do less, or do what's essential, only what's essential." This doesn't mean doing the bare minimum, but rather focusing your energy on the things that genuinely matter and letting go of the rest. The next time you feel insecure or overwhelmed, ask yourself, what can I simplify in my life? Can I focus on what's essential? You may find that many of the things causing you anxiety are not as important as they seem, and by simplifying your life, you simplify your mind and heart, allowing you to live with greater confidence and inner peace. Simplicity is not about giving up on life's pleasures or ambitions. It's about cutting through the noise to find what genuinely fulfills you. By embracing simplicity, you build a life that is less cluttered, less driven by external comparisons, and more in tune with your true values. As you learn to focus on what really matters, you'll find that your insecurities begin to fade, replaced by a sense of clarity and calm. So, take a moment today to look at your life. Is there something you can simplify? Something you can let go of? Perhaps it's decluttering your home, streamlining your work, or simply focusing on spending time with those who matter most. When you do this, you'll discover the profound truth that the Stoics understood. A simpler life is not a lesser life. It's a richer, more fulfilling one. 3. Embrace imperfection. We live in a society that often glorifies perfection, where there's a constant expectation to be flawless in our actions, appearance, and achievements. From social media feeds filled with idealized images to the pressure at work to always deliver without error, the pursuit of perfection has become ingrained in our culture. Yet, this relentless chase can be a significant source of insecurity, leading us to doubt ourselves and our worth. The Stoics teach us that perfection is not only unattainable, but that accepting our imperfections is essential for leading a fulfilling and secure life. In the words of Marcus Aurelius from his Meditations, accept whatever comes woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs. This profound wisdom encourages us to embrace life as it is, with all its flaws and challenges, and to find peace in that acceptance. It is a reminder that everything, including our own imperfections, has a place and a purpose. Understanding how embracing imperfection can reduce insecurity begins with recognizing the burden that the quest for perfection places on us. The constant pressure to be perfect in everything we do can be paralyzing, leading to anxiety, self-doubt, and deep insecurity. However, when you come to terms with the fact that imperfection is a natural part of the human condition, you allow yourself to make mistakes, learn from them, and move forward without harsh self-criticism. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating because it breaks the chains of unrealistic standards. If you're working on a project and happen to make an error, instead of obsessing over it and feeling insecure because it wasn't done perfectly, consider it an opportunity for growth. This change in mindset helps reduce anxiety and insecurity because it allows you to see that success and value do not require perfection. They require effort, resilience, and the willingness to learn. Moreover, accepting imperfection fosters compassion, both for yourself and for others. When you acknowledge that everyone has flaws and makes mistakes, you become less critical and more understanding, which naturally reduces the harsh judgments you place on yourself. This compassion is a powerful antidote to insecurity because it frees you from the constant fear of not measuring up. It allows you to live more kindly, both towards yourself and those around you, recognizing that no one is perfect. Seneca once said, "To err is human, but to persist in error out of pride is of the devil." This quote underscores that making mistakes is part of being human, but the real harm comes from letting pride and the illusion of perfection prevent us from acknowledging and learning from them. Another significant way that accepting imperfection reduces insecurity is by shifting your focus from the end result to the process itself. When you are obsessed with achieving perfection, it is easy to lose sight of the journey and concentrate solely on reaching a flawless outcome. This fixation can drain the joy from your efforts and make you feel like you're always falling short. However, when you accept imperfection, you can appreciate every step of the way, even the missteps, and find value in the effort and experiences themselves. Think of it like a craftsman working on a piece of art. Each stroke of the brush, each chisel of the stone, even if not perfect, contributes to the beauty of the final piece. It is through the process, not the flawless finish, that the true art is created. Accepting imperfection also helps set more realistic expectations for yourself. Often, insecurity arises when we set our standards so high that they become unachievable, leaving us feeling inadequate when we inevitably fall short. By accepting that perfection is neither reasonable nor necessary, you can set ambitious yet attainable goals, enabling you to progress with confidence rather than fear. It's a subtle but powerful shift. Rather than trying to be flawless, aim to be consistent and focused, striving to do your best with what you have. This approach allows you to build self-assurance because your sense of accomplishment will be based on effort and growth, not an impossible standard. Embracing imperfection encourages a growth mindset. Instead of seeing your shortcomings as reflections of your worth, you begin to view them as opportunities for improvement. This perspective is crucial in reducing insecurity because it reinforces the idea that you don't have to be perfect to continue growing, evolving, and becoming a better version of yourself. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every setback a stepping stone. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show a person's character. Therefore, when a difficulty falls upon you, remember that God, like a trainer of wrestlers, has matched you with a tough young man." This metaphor illustrates that challenges and the mistakes we make along the way are not indicators of failure, but tests that build our strength and resilience. To practice accepting imperfection, it's helpful to remind yourself regularly that perfection is an illusion, and that everyone, without exception, has flaws and limitations. Pay attention to moments when you find yourself being overly self-critical, or when you set unrealistic standards for yourself. In these moments, take a deep breath and remind yourself that being human means being imperfect, and that's perfectly okay. Instead of aiming for a perfect life, aim for a meaningful one, where growth and effort are valued more than flawlessness. Marcus Aurelius' Stoicism teaches us that self-acceptance is a form of wisdom, and through this wisdom, we learn to appreciate the process of living, not just the outcome. By embracing imperfection, you allow yourself the freedom to grow, to be authentic, and to experience life in a fuller, richer way. You begin to see that your value isn't tied to a flawless image, but to your ability to learn, adapt, and persevere. Perfection is not a requirement for a meaningful, fulfilling life. It is a myth that only creates stress, insecurity, and discontent. Instead of striving for an unattainable ideal, focus on embracing your imperfections, learning from them, and finding joy in the journey. As you practice this, you will notice that your insecurities start to fade, replaced by a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are enough, just as you are. 4. Develop self-awareness. Now let's delve into the fourth Stoic key to overcoming insecurity, developing self-awareness. This is not just a pillar of Stoic philosophy, but a fundamental aspect of any approach to personal growth. At its core, self-awareness is the ability to observe yourself honestly, to understand your thoughts, emotions, and motivations, and to recognize how these elements influence your behavior. It's about seeing yourself clearly, without illusions or distractions, and understanding what drives you. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently emphasized the importance of self-knowledge. One of his most powerful quotes is, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." This statement reveals a critical Stoic insight. Much of how we experience the world is within our control, and that control begins with self-awareness. If we are mindful of our reactions and understand why we feel a certain way, we can choose not to let external events affect us negatively. This ability to choose is rooted in a deep understanding of oneself. Why is self-awareness so crucial when it comes to insecurity? The answer lies in the fact that insecurity often stems from a lack of self-understanding. When you aren't clear about who you are, what you value, and what motivates you, it's easy to be swayed by the opinions, judgments, and expectations of others. This constant reliance on external validation feeds insecurity, as your sense of worth becomes dependent on factors outside of your control. However, when you know yourself well, you have a solid foundation that allows you to make decisions and face challenges without being overly influenced by external pressures. This inner clarity and confidence shield you from the shifting tides of other people's opinions. Developing self-awareness is a continuous journey. It's not something you achieve overnight, but it's essential for growth. Start by asking yourself key questions. What truly matters to me? What are my core values? Why do I react the way I do in certain situations? Reflecting on these questions can help you understand your fears and anxieties better, allowing you to confront them with greater confidence. As you become more aware of your motivations, you also become better equipped to make choices that align with your true self, rather than choices based on fear or insecurity. A powerful tool that the Stoics employed to enhance self-awareness was the practice of daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius, for example, dedicated time each day to examine his actions, thoughts, and emotions, assessing whether he had lived in accordance with his principles. This practice was not just a philosophical exercise. It was a way to maintain integrity and clarity of mind. You too can adopt this practice. At the end of each day, set aside a few minutes to reflect on how you felt and why. Were there moments when you felt insecure? What triggered those feelings? How could you have responded differently? This simple habit can reveal patterns in your behavior and thoughts that you might not have noticed before. Now, imagine someone who consistently feels insecure in social situations, constantly worrying about how others perceive them. Without self-awareness, they might believe that these fears are just a part of who they are, uncontrollable and permanent. But through regular reflection, they might discover that their insecurity stems from a fear of judgment, rooted in past experiences. Recognizing this allows them to address the underlying issue, rather than just reacting to the symptoms. With time, they can reframe their thoughts, learning to approach social situations with a mindset of curiosity rather than anxiety. This is not about ignoring insecurities, but understanding where they come from so they can be managed more effectively. Another aspect of self-awareness is acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses without judgment. This requires honesty and courage, as it's often easier to focus on what we lack than to accept who we are. However, by facing our imperfections directly, we reduce their power over us. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This Stoic teaching emphasizes that our reactions are within our control, but to manage them, we must first understand them. When you are aware of your triggers, you can prepare yourself to respond thoughtfully, rather than letting insecurities dictate your actions. Developing self-awareness also strengthens self-confidence because it empowers you to own your thoughts and actions. As you learn more about yourself, you gain control over your emotional responses, making you less susceptible to feelings of insecurity. Think of self-awareness as a form of mental training. Just like physical exercise strengthens the body, regular reflection and self-examination strengthen the mind. Over time, you will find that the fears and doubts that once controlled you have less of a grip, as you've built the mental resilience to see them for what they are: temporary thoughts, not definitive truths. In practical terms, consider implementing a practice like journaling or meditation. Journaling allows you to put your thoughts on paper, which can help clarify what's causing you to feel insecure. It's a private space where you can be honest with yourself, free from the fear of judgment. On the other hand, meditation helps you observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them, teaching you to create a space between stimulus and response. Both practices encourage introspection, which is essential for building self-awareness. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of this inner work, as it allows you to remain steady and composed even in the face of adversity. Furthermore, developing self-awareness is not just about understanding your thoughts and emotions, it's about understanding your purpose. Knowing why you do what you do can anchor you in moments of doubt. When you are clear about your purpose, you can withstand criticism, failure, and uncertainty, because you know that these are just parts of a larger journey. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." Self-awareness provides that sense of direction, enabling you to navigate through life with a clearer, steadier mind. So, the next time you find yourself struggling with insecurity, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, what is really driving this feeling? Is it a fear of failure, a need for approval, or perhaps a misunderstanding of my own strengths? Reflect on your answers honestly. This practice can transform how you approach challenges, helping you respond with reason rather than emotion. With time, you will notice that your insecurities begin to fade, replaced by a calm confidence rooted in self-awareness. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Self-awareness is the key to unlocking your potential. By understanding yourself, you take control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions, which naturally leads to greater confidence and less insecurity. This journey requires patience, as true self-awareness is developed over time, through consistent practice and reflection. But it's a journey worth taking, as it allows you to live authentically, unburdened by the opinions of others. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look there." Your strength lies within, and by cultivating self-awareness, you can tap into it, live more freely, and face life's challenges with a sense of calm assurance. 5. Practice constant self-reflection. Self-reflection is a fundamental pillar of Stoicism, and it is essential for personal growth and building a balanced, secure life. By regularly setting aside time to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and emotions, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself, which enables you to make wiser decisions and reduce the insecurities that often arise from confusion or a lack of direction. It's a way of turning inward, not to criticize but to understand, to learn and to grow. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most prominent figures in Stoic philosophy, was a firm believer in the practice of self-reflection. He would often write in his meditations about the importance of reviewing his actions and thoughts daily, to ensure they were aligned with his values and principles. This habit didn't just help him stay on the right path, it also strengthened his resilience and inner confidence, allowing him to face the challenges of life with a calm, steady mind. Insecurity often stems from a lack of clarity about who we are or what we want. When we aren't sure of our values and goals, it's easy to feel lost, doubtful, or insecure about our decisions. But when you make self-reflection a regular practice, you create the space to explore and clarify your thoughts and feelings, allowing you to make choices with greater confidence and certainty. For example, if you're facing a difficult situation, like making an important career decision or navigating a complex relationship, self-reflection gives you the opportunity to step back and ask, what truly matters to me in this context? By reflecting on your values, desires, and fears, you can make a decision that aligns with what you genuinely want, rather than being swayed by external pressure or self-doubt. This kind of clarity is powerful because it reduces insecurity, as you are more certain that you are acting in accordance with your truth, rather than reacting to the chaos around you. To see how this works in modern life, think of someone like David, a professional in his late 50s who's been considering a shift in his career. He's been hesitant, unsure of whether it's the right move, and feeling insecure about starting something new at this stage of his life. Through regular self-reflection, he begins to understand that his insecurity isn't just about the change itself, but stems from a deeper fear of failing or not living up to expectations he has set for himself over the years. By recognizing this, he can address the root of his insecurity and start to ask himself what truly matters: satisfaction, growth, or sticking to what he knows out of fear. This clarity helps him make a more informed and confident decision, focusing on what aligns with his personal values rather than what he thinks others might expect of him. Self-reflection also helps you identify patterns of behavior or thinking that may be fueling your insecurity. Sometimes, insecurity isn't about the situation in front of you, but about habitual thoughts that haven't been questioned. By reflecting regularly, you can start to see these patterns and begin the process of changing them, leading to greater self-confidence and a stronger sense of security. If you notice that you often worry excessively about how others perceive you, self-reflection allows you to question this belief. Is it really true that others are judging you harshly? Or is this a projection of your own insecurities? As you challenge these assumptions, you can start to build a more confident self-image, grounded in reality rather than fear. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, famously said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." This reminds us that it's our thoughts, more than the events themselves, that cause distress. Through self-reflection, you can examine these thoughts, understand where they come from, and slowly reshape them into something more constructive. Another way self-reflection reduces insecurity is by allowing you to learn from past experiences. The Stoics believed that every day is an opportunity to learn and grow, and self-reflection is the tool that allows you to extract those lessons. When you look back at both your successes and your failures, you can identify what worked, what didn't, and how you can approach future challenges more effectively. This preparation boosts your confidence because you know that whatever comes, you have the capability to handle it, armed with the lessons you've gathered. Let's say you had a project that didn't turn out as planned. Instead of letting that failure feed your insecurities, use self-reflection to analyze what went wrong, what you could have done differently, and what you learned from the experience. This way, you turn a negative event into a source of strength, preparing yourself better for similar challenges in the future. Self-reflection also promotes self-compassion and acceptance. When you take the time to examine your thoughts and emotions, you become more aware of how you treat yourself. If you notice that you're being overly critical or unfairly harsh, self-reflection can serve as an opportunity to be kinder and more understanding towards yourself. This compassion is crucial in reducing insecurity because it helps you accept your mistakes and imperfections without feeling less valuable. After all, everyone makes mistakes and no one is flawless. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." This kind of perspective encourages gratitude and compassion, shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have, which in turn fosters a sense of inner security and peace. A practical way to incorporate self-reflection into your daily routine is by keeping a journal, much like Marcus Aurelius did. Dedicate a few minutes each day to write about your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Ask yourself questions like, what did I learn today? What did I do well? What could I have done differently? This exercise will help you stay in tune with yourself and develop greater clarity and confidence in your decisions. Over time, you'll start to notice patterns in your thoughts and behavior, giving you the opportunity to address the sources of your insecurities more directly. The next time you find yourself feeling insecure or uncertain, make it a habit to take a moment for self-reflection. Ask yourself what is really bothering you and why. By digging deeper into your thoughts and emotions, you can uncover the answers and the direction you need to act confidently. Self-reflection, when practiced consistently, helps to build a foundation of self-awareness and self-assurance that empowers you to face life's challenges head-on. The key lesson here is that constant self-reflection is not just about understanding what you think, but about understanding why you think that way. It's a tool that gives you insight into your motivations, fears, and desires, helping you align your actions with your true self. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of this inner work, as it leads to a clearer, steadier mind. By dedicating time to self-reflection, you can gain the clarity needed to navigate life's complexities with confidence and ease. It's about being honest with yourself, learning from your experiences, and using that knowledge to grow. So, start today. Take a few moments tonight or tomorrow morning to reflect on your day. 6. Cultivate the virtue of patience. Let's continue with our 6th Stoic key to overcoming insecurity, cultivating the virtue of patience. In a world that moves at a dizzying pace where instant results are expected in almost every area of life, patience has become an increasingly rare but incredibly valuable quality. From a Stoic perspective, patience isn't merely about waiting passively. It's an active strength, a deliberate choice to face difficulties and delays with calmness and resilience. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, once said, No great thing is created suddenly. Anything, small or great, needs time to mature. This quote is a reminder that everything worthwhile in life, whether it's mastering a skill, building a relationship, or achieving a meaningful goal, requires time, effort, and of course, patience. By internalizing this lesson, we can alleviate much of the insecurity that comes from unrealistic expectations and our impatience to see immediate results. Think for a moment about how impatience feeds into our insecurities. When we crave instant results, whether in our careers, relationships, or personal growth, and don't achieve them as quickly as we'd like, we start to doubt ourselves. Questions creep in. Am I good enough? Am I on the right path? Should I just give up? This anxiety can be paralyzing, stopping us from making further progress. But what if we approach these situations with stoic patience? What if we understood that true, lasting progress takes time, that obstacles are a natural part of the journey, and that each small step moves us closer to our goals? With this mindset, we can face delays and setbacks without losing confidence in ourselves or the path we're on. Patience also plays a crucial role in our relationships. Often, our social insecurities stem from unrealistic expectations about how others should behave or respond. We might expect instant understanding or immediate alignment in conversations, and when this doesn't happen, we start to feel anxious or disconnected. Cultivating patience helps us give others the space and time they need, recognizing that everyone has their own pace and process. This approach not only reduces social anxiety, but also deepens the quality of our interactions, as it encourages us to become more empathetic and understanding. Marcus Aurelius' Stoicism teaches us that patience with others is just as important as patience with ourselves. As Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This simple but powerful principle can guide us to handle social situations with more grace and less anxiety, leading to stronger, more authentic connections. Additionally, patience is essential in managing our emotions and reactions, especially during challenging situations. When we encounter stress or frustration, our immediate response is often one of anger, fear, or impatience, feelings that can fuel our insecurities. By practicing patience, we learn to pause, take a breath, and respond in a more thoughtful and balanced manner. This ability to control our immediate impulses strengthens our self-confidence because it shows us that we have the power to choose how we react, no matter the situation. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting, and you feel that familiar rush of frustration. Instead of letting this feeling control you, try practicing stoic patience. Take a deep breath, accept the situation, and remind yourself that losing your cool won't make the cars move faster. This simple act of patience can transform a stressful moment into an opportunity to practice calm and self-control, reinforcing your sense of inner peace. Implementing patience in daily life can begin with small steps. Practice waiting without irritation when standing in a long line, listen carefully without interrupting during conversations, or give yourself enough time to complete tasks without rushing. These small acts train you to handle more complex situations with calm and resilience. It's about building mental endurance, much like a muscle. The more you practice patience in everyday situations, the stronger it becomes, and the better equipped you are to face life's bigger challenges with a steady, confident mind. The ancient Stoic principle that great things take time is more relevant than ever in today's fast-paced world. We are constantly surrounded by the illusion of instant success, whether through social media, where we see snapshots of people's achievements without understanding the hard work behind them, or in the workplace, where results are often demanded at an unrealistic pace. By accepting and embracing the idea that progress takes time, you free your mind from the pressure of immediate results and allow yourself to move forward with confidence and tranquility. This shift in mindset makes patience an armor against insecurity, enabling you to approach life's challenges with a serene, focused attitude, knowing that with time and perseverance, you will reach your goals. Patience, then, is not about passively waiting for things to happen. It's about actively choosing to endure difficulties with calm and strength, understanding that every delay, every setback, is part of the process. If you can master this, you can master your insecurities, because you'll no longer be driven by the fear of not achieving your goals quickly enough. Instead, you'll be driven by the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you're on the right path, and that everything worthwhile is achieved with time, effort, and patience. By recognizing the source of your impatience, you can address it directly, replacing it with the steady assurance that comes from knowing that true progress is slow and steady. Whether you're working on a personal project, building a relationship, or developing a new skill, remember Epictetus's wisdom. No great thing is created suddenly. Let this be your guiding principle, and you'll find that the impatience that once fed your insecurities will be replaced by a calm, resilient determination to keep moving forward, no matter how long it takes. Patience is not just a virtue, it's a strategy for living a secure, confident life. By learning to wait, to endure, and to persist without rushing, you cultivate a mindset that is less reactive and more thoughtful, less anxious, and more assured. It's about understanding that every step, no matter how small, is progress. By practicing patience, you train yourself to see the bigger picture, to value the journey as much as the destination, and to trust that with time, effort, and perseverance, you will get where you need to be. So, whenever you feel impatience creeping in, remind yourself that patience is your greatest ally. It will keep you steady, focused, and on the path to success, no matter how long the road may be. 7. Find purpose in what you do. Having a sense of purpose is essential for living a fulfilling and secure life. When you understand why you do what you do, you feel more focused and motivated, leaving little room for insecurity to take root. The Stoics believed that each of us has a unique role to play in life, and by fulfilling that role, we discover meaning and a sense of security. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often pondered the importance of having a clear purpose. He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly, and take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature." This quote emphasizes that a clear, rational purpose helps us stay on course, even when faced with challenges or doubts. By focusing on what truly matters, you can find strength and stability, allowing you to move forward with confidence. But how exactly does finding purpose in what you do help reduce insecurity? First, when you have a clear purpose, your actions align with something greater than yourself. This gives you a sense of direction and stability because you know you are working towards something meaningful. Insecurity often arises when we are unsure why we are doing what we are doing, or when our actions lack clear meaning. But when you discover a purpose, each step you take becomes more significant, and you feel more secure in your path. For instance, imagine you're working on a project that truly resonates with your values and passions. The obstacles you face along the way won't feel as daunting because the purpose behind your work fuels your drive. This sense of purpose reduces anxiety and self-doubt, enabling you to act with more confidence. Moreover, finding purpose in what you do helps you handle stress and difficulties more effectively. When you know that your work or actions have a deeper significance, it becomes easier to persevere, even when things get tough. This sense of purpose gives you the resilience to face challenges without letting insecurity hold you back. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." With this in mind, approaching your tasks with purpose allows you to see obstacles not as threats but as opportunities to grow and prove your commitment. It's not about avoiding challenges, but rather about facing them with the confidence that comes from knowing why you are doing what you are doing. Purpose also reduces insecurity by connecting you to something greater than yourself. Whether you find purpose in helping others, contributing to a larger cause, or striving to be the best version of yourself, This connection gives you a solid foundation. It helps you act with greater confidence and stability because you understand that your actions matter. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, having a purpose can be your anchor, a steady point of reference that guides you through the storms. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism teaches us that when we see our place in the broader scheme of life, we feel less isolated, less vulnerable, and more secure in our actions. Another way purpose combats insecurity is by helping you stay focused on what truly matters. When you are clear about your purpose, you're less likely to be distracted by superficial worries or the need for external validation. Instead, you concentrate on what is essential to you. This focus enables you to move forward with determination, reducing doubt and hesitation. If you're driven by the purpose of building a meaningful relationship with your family, you won't be as swayed by social pressures or comparisons that make you feel inadequate. You'll measure your success by the quality of your connections, not by how you stack up against someone else's achievements. To find purpose in what you do, it's helpful to take time to reflect on your values, passions, and what truly inspires you. Ask yourself, what really matters to me? How can I align my daily actions with my deepest values? By seeking answers to these questions, you will discover a renewed sense of direction and security. This process is not always easy and may require revisiting past experiences, both good and bad, to understand what drives you. But the effort is worthwhile because it helps you build a life that resonates with your true self, which naturally boosts your confidence and reduces insecurity. Let's bring this closer to a personal scenario. Imagine someone who has always dreamed of writing a book, but feels insecure about their ability to succeed. They might fear rejection, criticism, or even failure to complete the task. However, when they reconnect with their purpose, perhaps the desire to share their story, to inspire others, or to express their creativity, they find the motivation to move forward. This purpose doesn't eliminate the challenges, but it makes them easier to bear. Every page they write, every draft they edit, becomes a step towards fulfilling their goal. Purpose gives them the resilience to face setbacks and criticism without losing their sense of self-worth. Centering yourself on your purpose, you will find a source of security that will guide you through uncertainties, allowing you to act with confidence and strength. Marcus Aurelius himself understood the power of purpose, writing, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This reminds us that external judgments and fears are fleeting, but a sense of purpose is enduring. It keeps you grounded, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with assurance and clarity. In essence, finding purpose isn't just about having a goal. It's about understanding why that goal matters to you and how it fits into the bigger picture of your life. When your actions are driven by purpose, they become more than just tasks. They become expressions of your values, your beliefs, and your identity. And that, in itself, is a powerful antidote to insecurity. Purpose transforms every small step into a meaningful journey, where the focus is not merely on the end result but on the fulfillment that comes from knowing you are on the right path. So, whenever doubts start to creep in, return to your purpose. Let it be the compass that keeps you moving forward, confidently and steadily, no matter how uncertain the road may seem. 8. Develop equanimity. Equanimity, or the ability to maintain calm and mental balance regardless of external circumstances, is one of the most cherished virtues in Stoicism. It allows you to navigate life's ups and downs without being swept away by extreme emotions. When you cultivate equanimity, you can significantly reduce insecurity because you're no longer so deeply affected by unexpected changes or the challenges that come your way. As Seneca wisely put it, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This perspective reminds us that inner peace does not come from everything going perfectly, but from how we choose to respond to life's unpredictability. Equanimity helps you hold on to that inner peace, even when things do not go according to plan. So, how can equanimity help you reduce insecurity? One of the main reasons we feel insecure is because we often feel out of control or overwhelmed by our emotions. The emotional highs and lows can make you feel unstable, leading to self-doubt and fear. However, when you develop equanimity, you learn to avoid overreacting to situations, choosing instead to respond with calmness and thoughtful reflection. This ability to maintain your balance gives you a sense of control over yourself, which naturally reduces insecurity. Equanimity also helps you accept both success and failure with the same serene attitude. Rather than clinging desperately to success or living in fear of failure, you come to understand that both are natural parts of life. This acceptance alleviates insecurity because it removes the constant pressure to avoid failure at all costs or to sustain a flawless level of success. When you know you can handle both outcomes with grace and balance, it liberates you from the anxiety that so often drives insecurity. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflected on this perspective, writing, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." This teaching reminds us to take life's outcomes as they come, without letting them disrupt our inner peace. By adopting this approach, you find stability within yourself, regardless of external successes or setbacks. Another powerful way equanimity reduces insecurity is by helping you stay present in the moment. Often our insecurities stem from worrying about the future or regretting the past. We dwell on what could go wrong or what we should have done differently, and this pulls us out of the present, leading to anxiety and self-doubt. Equanimity encourages you to focus on the here and now, enabling you to make clearer, more effective decisions without being dragged down by fear or regret. This presence gives you a solid foundation to act with confidence. Being present means you're not distracted by hypothetical scenarios. You're grounded in reality, and this clarity helps diminish feelings of insecurity because you're more aware and in control of your actions. Equanimity also enables you to maintain a long-term perspective. The Stoics taught that many of the problems we face today will seem insignificant when viewed in the broader context of our lives. By keeping this perspective, you can reduce insecurity because you recognize that the challenges you are facing now do not determine your entire future. Equanimity gives you the strength to stand by your principles and keep moving forward, no matter what temporary obstacles might arise. Epictetus expressed this well when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This underscores the Stoic belief that true power lies in how we choose to respond to life's events. When you can respond with steadiness and composure, challenges lose their ability to unsettle you, and you feel more secure in your path. To develop equanimity, consider practicing meditation or mindfulness techniques, which teach you to observe your thoughts and emotions without reacting impulsively. These practices can be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly, focus on your breathing, and let your mind settle. Through this, you learn to observe your feelings, whether they are frustration, fear, or anger, without letting them take control. Over time, this mindful approach becomes a habit that enables you to face life's complexities with greater calm and confidence. Additionally, in moments of stress, remind yourself that the situation is temporary and that you have the power to choose how you respond. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism encourages us to accept situations as they are, without exaggeration or distortion, and this helps us maintain calm even when circumstances seem challenging. Suppose you're waiting for an important promotion at work, but the decision keeps getting delayed. You might start to feel anxious, questioning your worth and worrying about what it means for your future. Practicing equanimity would mean acknowledging your feelings but not letting them dominate your thoughts. Instead, focus on what you can control, continue doing your job well, maintain your professionalism, and trust that the outcome will unfold in its own time. This perspective doesn't change the external situation, but it changes how you engage with it, reducing your anxiety and allowing you to navigate the waiting period with patience and grace. Equanimity also benefits your relationships. Often, social insecurities arise from unrealistic expectations about how others should behave or respond to us. We might expect immediate understanding, perfect harmony, or constant validation, and when those expectations are not met, we feel disappointed, hurt, or even insecure. Practicing equanimity allows you to give others the space and time they need, understanding that everyone has their own rhythm and process. This makes you more tolerant and empathetic, which improves the quality of your interactions and reduces social anxiety. When you don't allow yourself to be swayed by every shift in others' behavior, you can engage with more authenticity and self-assurance. Ultimately, the lesson here is that equanimity is not about suppressing emotions, but finding balance amidst them. It is about accepting what you cannot control and focusing your energy on what you can. When you cultivate equanimity, you gain the strength to face both the highs and lows of life without losing your inner peace. Seneca once said, "If you wish to be happy, do not allow yourself to be troubled by things which are out of your control." By practicing this virtue, you strengthen your mental and emotional stability, making it easier to approach life's uncertainties with confidence. To truly embrace equanimity, start with small daily practices that help you stay calm and grounded. Whether through mindful breathing, reflecting on Stoic teachings, or simply taking a moment to step back during stressful situations, each act of patience reinforces your ability to remain composed. Remember, it's not about never feeling anxious or stressed, but about learning how to carry yourself through those feelings without letting them dictate your actions. Equanimity, like all virtues, takes time to cultivate, but its rewards are profound. It becomes a shield against the constant pressures and insecurities of life, allowing you to respond to every situation with poise, understanding, and a steady heart. 9. Accept human nature and its limitations. Accepting human nature and its limitations. This key is essential for understanding and managing insecurity, because much of our self-doubt stems from unrealistic expectations, both of ourselves and of others. The Stoics teach us to embrace the fact that being human means having strengths and weaknesses, successes and failures, and that these imperfections are a natural part of life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on this theme, writing, "Do not wish for things to happen as you desire, but wish for them to happen as they do, and you will be content." This teaching encourages us to let go of the need for perfection and to accept reality as it is, including accepting ourselves just as we are. This acceptance is crucial in reducing insecurity because it frees us from the constant pressure to be perfect, to never make mistakes, or to live up to impossible standards. Consider for a moment how unrealistic expectations can fuel insecurity. Perhaps you push yourself to always be strong, always be competent, always be confident, and when you inevitably fall short of these expectations, you end up feeling inadequate or insufficient. This cycle of self-imposed pressure and disappointment is one of the primary sources of insecurity, as it sets you up for failure by demanding the impossible. However, when you accept that it is natural to have weaknesses, to make mistakes, and to sometimes feel uncertain, you begin to see these moments not as failures, but as part of the human experience. This shift in perspective allows you to approach life with more compassion for yourself, and it reduces the harsh self-criticism that breeds insecurity. Accepting human nature also involves recognizing that others, like you, have their own limitations. This understanding can help alleviate social insecurity, as it reduces the fear of judgment or rejection. Often, we feel insecure because we worry that others might see our flaws and judge us. But when you realize that everyone is grappling with their own challenges, doubts, and limitations, you understand that you are not alone in your struggles. This realization can ease the social pressure, allowing you to interact with others in a more authentic and relaxed way. Another important aspect of accepting human nature is understanding that growth and learning are continuous processes. You are not expected to know everything or be perfect from the start. Each mistake, each setback, is an opportunity to learn and improve. The Stoics viewed life as a journey of constant development, and this perspective allows you to be gentler with yourself when facing challenges or when you fall short of your own expectations. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, expressed this well when he said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." This reminds us that each failure is not an end point, but a step towards something new, a chance to grow and adapt. Consider someone learning a new skill, such as playing a musical instrument or navigating a career change. It is natural to make mistakes and feel insecure when trying something new. Instead of criticizing yourself for not being perfect right away, you can choose to see each error as a part of the learning process. This mindset reduces insecurity because it allows you to view mistakes as valuable lessons rather than personal failures. Accepting that no one masters a skill without practice, and that practice inherently includes missteps, gives you the freedom to explore new opportunities without the fear of failing. Accepting human nature also means being realistic about what you can and cannot control. The Stoics teach that we cannot control external circumstances or the actions of others, but we can control our reactions and attitudes. By focusing on what you can control and letting go of what is beyond your reach, you reduce anxiety and insecurity because you stop struggling against forces you cannot change. Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is a call to center your efforts on your own thoughts, actions, and responses, rather than wasting energy on things that are beyond your influence. When you accept the natural limits of control, you stop blaming yourself for everything that doesn't go your way, and this can greatly reduce the pressure that leads to insecurity. Furthermore, accepting human nature helps you manage relationships more effectively. Often, our insecurities in relationships stem from unrealistic expectations of how others should behave. We might expect people to always understand us, to respond in certain ways, or to meet our needs without fail. When these expectations are not met, we feel disappointed or hurt, leading to insecurity. But when you accept that others like you are imperfect beings with their own flaws and limitations, it becomes easier to navigate relationships with empathy and patience. This understanding creates stronger, more genuine connections because it allows for grace both for yourself and for others. Additionally, accepting human nature means acknowledging that growth takes time. You will not master everything immediately, and that's all right. By giving yourself the space to learn and evolve, you reduce the pressure to always get things right on the first try. This approach builds resilience because it teaches you to see challenges as part of the journey rather than obstacles blocking your way. Epictetus captured this beautifully when he said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." To master oneself is to understand that we are not defined by our mistakes, but by how we choose to respond to them. Next time you feel insecurity creeping in, pause and remember the teaching of Marcus Aurelius. Accept everything that happens, even when it seems disagreeable, because it leads to the health of the universe. This reflects the Stoic belief that everything, even our perceived flaws and failures, plays a role in the larger scheme of life. By embracing this perspective, you liberate yourself from the impossible need to be flawless, and instead, allow yourself to be fully human, with all the complexity that entails. Ironically, this acceptance makes you stronger, as it enables you to face life's ups and downs with more security and resilience. Ultimately, the key takeaway is that accepting human nature and its limitations is about acknowledging reality. It means understanding that you, like everyone else, have imperfections, and that these imperfections are not marks of failure, but signs of being alive. By releasing yourself from the need to be perfect, you build a more genuine confidence, one that isn't dependent on meeting unrealistic standards, but on accepting yourself as you are. This acceptance doesn't mean complacency. Rather, it means committing to growth with the understanding that growth includes setbacks, doubts, and uncertainties. So, whenever you find yourself feeling insecure, remind yourself to accept reality as it is, to embrace your strengths and weaknesses, and to recognize that every part of your journey is a part of what makes you whole. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found the insights shared here helpful and inspiring. Remember, the journey to overcoming insecurity and finding inner peace is a continuous one, and it's okay to take it step by step. If you enjoyed this content, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with anyone who might benefit from it. Your support means a lot, and it helps us continue to bring you more content that empowers and uplifts. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care and stay strong.